Nation Thursday night. While the delegates were coming in and out of the party, it wasn't quite so easy for the press. Can I just ask a question? If this is open to the delegates, why isn't it?
The other side of the property, where the public can stand.
But isn't this open to the delegates?
No, it's not. You can talk to the police right now.
This is not for the Democratic National Convention?
Go to the other side of the property where the rest of the public can stand, please. Here comes an officer to talk to you.
Okay. You know, but we're confused. We're pressed for the DNC to cover the Democratic National Convention, and I'm just wondering...
Unfortunately, I'm just telling you what I've been told.
And what have you been told?
I need you guys over there or over there.
So are you saying there's no press allowed in?
Correct. I'm saying that it's a private party is what I'm saying.
So what is the party about?
No idea. Thank you.
How did you get invited?
No idea.
Hi, can I ask you about the party inside?
That's right. Thank you.
Can I ask about the party and who invited you? Are you guys delegates?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
No.
I'm Glenn Greenwald from Salon.com, and this is Jane Hampshire from Fire Dog Lake, and we were here to try and cover the event at first and have press passes, and we're trying to gain access, and we were told we couldn't get in. They then...
But you have press passes.
We have press pass. We legitimate press passes from the convention.
Issued by the DNC.
Are you going into the party? Are you going into the party? Yeah. Can you talk about who invited you? We're press.
Yeah, it's amazing. And essentially, we probably tried to interview 25, 30 people going in, and every last person refused to even give their name, identify themselves, say what they're here for, what the event is for. It's more secretive than like a Dick Cheney Energy Council meeting. I mean, it's amazing.
So what are you here for? Why do you want to interview people?
Well, because, I mean, it's extraordinary that the same Blue Dogs that just gave this extremely corrupt gift to AT&T are now attending a party underwritten by AT&T, the purpose of which is to thank the Blue Dogs for the corrupt legislative gift that they got. So AT&T gives money to the Blue Dogs turn around and immunize AT&T from law breaking, and then AT&T throws a party at the Democratic Convention thanking them, and then they all go in and into this exclusive club. So, hi, are you going to the party?
I don't know.
Can we ask you a couple questions?
Rather not, thank you.
Can we just scooch?
That's private property right here.
Okay, we'll take care of this, sir. No problem. No problem. Remember, we kind of...
Are you
this area right here is where it is right here.
Are you throwing the party?
Oh, this is the magical deed line?
No, the next one over.
Oh, I see.
Almost.
You know where the Blue Dog Democrats started out? They all used to meet in Louisiana in the office of the one conservative Democrat in the state who had a portrait of a blue dog over his fireplace. And from that point on, this is in the late 1800s, early 1900s, other conservative Democrats used to come to have this secret meeting in this place in Louisiana, and that's how they became the Blue Dog Democrats forevermore.
Are you both delegates?
No, I'm a lobbyist, so.
Oh, a lobbyist.
The other L word.
A lobbyist with who?
I do financial services and real estate.
I'm just a guest tonight. I'll tell you a secret. I'm a Republican. we just got invited, so.
Free dinner.
Free dinner.
Okay.
Do you feel right at home?
Yeah. It's a party. Hey, what the hell, right?
So, Medea Benjamin, why are you all out here?
Code Pink has always been dogging the Blue Dogs because the Blue Dogs are supposed to be fiscally conservative, yet they are the ones that keep cheerleading for this war and keep funding the war. But we also see that the Blue Dogs are big into the corporate sponsorship. And we're here to say that as the convention starts to begin tomorrow, the Blue Dogs should be ashamed of themselves for taking corporate money and then turning around and giving immunity to the telecoms industry for illegally spying on us.
Blue Dogs take cash from AT&T and then telecoms immunity. So Code Pink is here to give the dogs a bone. Tell AT&T, don't tap my phone. And that is
is the Code Pink Singers outside of Mile High Stadium. In fact, that venue is Mile High Station, where AT&T was sponsoring a party for the Blue Dog Democrats. The report was produced by Rick Rowley of Big Noise Films. Glenn Greenwald was one of the voices you heard, one of the people you saw in that piece. He was outside AT&T Blue Dog fundraiser last night. Glenn is a constitutional law attorney and political and legal blogger for Salon.com. He joins me here in the Denver studio. Welcome to Democracy Now!, Glenn.
Great to be here, Amy.
So we were there dogging the Blue Dogs, trying actually just simply to get into the party. The delegates and the lobbyists were able to walk in and out, but we had a lot of trouble.
Well, one of the things I found so interesting is that there's a very stringent credentialing process, as you know, in order to obtain press credentials for the convention. And because I write with Salon.com, Salon has obtained press credentials for me and others. And I expected, quite naturally, that the press passes would enable access to the party. I mean, here is a meeting between the nation's, one of the nation's most influential corporations, and probably the single most influential faction in the United States Congress, which is the Blue Dog Coalition, meeting at this lavish party with hundreds of people present near where Barack Obama will speak. The last thing that occurred to me was that it would be closed to the press, given the public significance, the fact that members of the United States Congress are meeting. And yet the first declaration that they announced when asked if we could enter was that press is completely banned. It was an entirely private affair. And I guess only Democracy Now! and us were the only press interested in covering it in any event, but they certainly, whether that rule pre-existed our arrival or was created specifically for us, it was made very clear and enforced through layers of security that press would not be able to access the event.
The police were there working in force. They clearly are explaining to protesters what the rules are, the line that they can't step over. And then when we came up, when Democracy Now! Came up, the police very patiently explained this is private property. The security, not the police, but the security was Mile High as well as the actual venue of Mile High Station. These were big guys, and they weren't kidding around. It was interesting. The lobbyists were a little more willing to speak than the actual delegates who were being rushed in there. A lot of limousines were coming in.
Absolutely. I mean, I found the symbolism of the event very revealing. First of all, as you say, there was a very intended to be intimidating wall of private security surrounding the event, and they were actually infinitely more aggressive and angrier than the Denver police were. And in fact, I was there with Jane Hampshire, the blogger from Fire Dog Lake, who at one point was trying to speak with one of the individuals entering the party, and she was physically pushed by one of the private security members, notwithstanding the fact that the Denver police had been there the entire time, navigating and negotiating where it was that we could stand. The other aspect of it was that what the police have been clearly trained to do is to create this facade of being accommodating and cooperative and pleasant. But what it really does is it masks the fact that their strategy is to ensure that any sort of dissident voices or people off script are relegated to places where they can't really be heard.
It's very hard to figure out in these situations. You know, you have a sidewalk which is owned by the private venue and where the public can use the public sidewalk. They're showing you the cracks, the crevices in the sidewalk, and they're saying, that's theirs, this is yours.
Right. Well, I mean, I found that very odd, too. At first, we were told that we could stand in a certain place that was on one side of one of the cracks that appeared in the sidewalk, and I was kind of amazed that the Denver police knew with such precision, based on the cracks in the sidewalk, where private and public property were demarcated. But when it turned out that where we were told to stand originally still enabled us to accost the people who were exiting the cars and try and interview them, suddenly the cracks in the sidewalk shifted to a place further away, and then suddenly that became the public-private line, and we were told to stand there.
And the key was that for all the people who were driving in their various limousines and being let off at the front of the AT&T party, thanking the Blue Dog Democrats, that was the place that the press couldn't go, which is the place to talk to the delegates. I thought actually we're going to be able to be inside, at least in the lobby, but that's where the lobbyists are. It gives sort of new meaning to the term lobbyist. Right. But it keeps the press away from the people we're trying to interview.
Well, that clearly was the intent. And like I said, I don't know if they expected press and created this rule in advance or created it in an ad hoc way once they saw that we were there with cameras and wanted to keep us away. But what's so amazing is think about how significant this event is to the public interest. I mean, you have, 15, 20, 30 members of Congress meeting with lobbyists and delegates in a matter that's of great significance to public policy. And not only are they keeping the public out, but they're keeping the press out too. And what I found extraordinary, as your video illustrated, and it was really every person, nobody was willing to talk about what their connection was to the event, how they got invited, what their understanding of it was, why AT&T was thinking. The Blue Dogs, it was almost as though they knew there was something corrupt and dark about it and didn't want to be associated with it.
Well, Glenn, the last time we had you on, you were actually blogging from Brazil, but you